Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What is the most interesting statistic you know? Of the 30 fastest 100-meter sprint times, 21 were run by athletes who tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. The other 9 were Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is truly built different. He's the combination of a lot of factors adding up right. Right genetics born to someone with the motivation and the right influences born in the right place. I think he had twin boys last year and named one of them Thunder. Imagine the pressure you must be facing as a kid like that lol. I presume he named the other one Lightning. 48% of British people wouldn't go to space even if their safety was guaranteed, with the most popular reason being that they just simply didn't have any interest in going. Hey, with how much stuff I've learned about living in space, it sounds like a nightmare. Eating, drinking, digestion and going to the bathroom are all thrown off by a lack of gravity. Along with brushing your teeth or clipping your nails. Working out is one of the most common activities in space, so you don't lose muscle mass from the lack of gravity. Even then it's common to have a lot of aches and pains when returning to Earth because you didn't really use your feet all that much or something. Not to mention space blindness. That one's a bit hyperbolic, but it is sort of a thing. I'll stay home, thanks. Take pictures for me. There's a reason astronauts have to be in perfect health. Going into space fucking wrecks your body. Can't blame them. Who wants to live under the strict rules of space stations, and not be allowed to eat crisps for months, and abstain from sex? No thanks. Oh, I didn't realize the abstinence police also reside on the space station. Let's be honest, we all want to try it. We just don't want to live with the aftermath. I mean, I don't want to live in a snow globe full of my own loads. I don't want to go to space because I can't have crisps. 20% of the mammal species on our planet are different types of bats. There's about 5,000 species of mammals, and about 1,000 of them are varieties of our little winged buddies. I thought there would be more types of mammals. Bigger animals have more trouble creating spaces for themselves, so they don't have as many opportunities to expand the pool of species. Plus bugs have been around basically since the dawn of time. Mammals are basically babies in comparison. A full 6% of Americans reckon they could beat a grizzly bear in unarmed combat. Edit, and before another bear arm joke, just FYI bears already don't have arms. So removing bear arms doesn't improve your chances. Technically, all 4 are called legs, with the front 2 called forelegs. The more interesting one IMO is that 28% think they couldn't beat a rat. Edit, should have my coffee first. They're probably just afraid of them. Lots of people are afraid of rodents. Even more thought they could defeat a gorilla, an elephant, and a lion. An elephant, really? Let's see, says here it's 13,000 pounds and 10 feet tall, that is pretty big. But then I did just get my purple belt in Goju-Ryu Karate. Close one, but I'm gonna have to give the edge to me in this matchup. As a decently skilled grappler I'm already afraid of some, extremely competitive, teenagers that can fold me into a pretzel. Let alone a fucking gorilla, elephant or a lion. I mean, have people never heard of the chimpanzee that ripped someone's face and hands clean off? Or have they never visited a zoo in which you can see just how absolutely massive these animals are? Dunning-Kruger at its finest. Man, gorilla gets me the most because at least with the others the physical difference between a human and the animal raises some agility questions. Like yeah, no idea how you'd even harm an elephant unarmed, but one could at least think maybe they'd also have a hard time stepping on me if I keep moving because they are so slow. A gorilla is pretty much flat out a human but far bigger, stronger, and mildly armored with fur. I'm surprised and not surprised that almost 50% think they can take on a moose. From who I've talked to, people who have never seen one, really underestimate the size of one. If you hit one with a car, you're more likely to die than the moose. Also, a moose bit my sister once. From my experience, many people don't realize just how big they are. My family just watched a video of one the other day after I mentioned that they are bigger than most cars because they thought I was nuts. Dragonflies have a 95% hunt success rate, making them the most effective hunters in the world. It's because the dragonfly optic nerve connects directly to their wings, allowing incredibly fast reaction times since the target finding isn't mediated by the nervous system. Also, their flight vectors indicate they fly to where the target will be instead of where the target is. Used to work as a meteorologist. More people die from flooding each year than from every other natural disaster added together. A good portion, at least, are people who think their cars can make it through the water when they obviously cannot. Deleted. You're my kind of person. D. I had to close a road off, and as I was doing so someone drove around the cones and just totally ignored me. So I let them go on, and I finished the road closure. 10 minutes later the driver came back and said when I got to the end of the road, there was no road. Yeah. That was intentional. That's what the road closed sign was for. The driver asked why I'd let them go down there, and I said I didn't, but you weren't going to let me stop you. Not a lot of people realize how dangerous it is to drive with water on the road. Turn around, don't drown and all that. Brown flood waters can also be twice as powerful as clearer water due to all the mud it picks up, which making it deceptively more dangerous. Even a relatively shallow flow can be much more powerful than expected. Just don't take the risk unless you absolutely have to. Since the mid-1970s, the world's population has doubled. 7% of all humans that ever existed are alive today. Source. From this data, I have concluded that humans have a 93% chance of dying. In the last century life expectancy has doubled also. Then again in the last 50 years it just improved by 10 years. Prostate cancer affects 80% of 80-year-old men at some point in their lives. 80%. I have read somewhere that most men die with prostate cancer, not of prostate cancer. Unless it spreads to or otherwise affects other organs, the mortality makes a lot of sense. Your prostate isn't exactly vital for your survival like most other parts of your body. The question I would have is why is it so common? The average age of retirement in the US is 62. 53% of retirements aren't voluntary. Happened to my dad. He is a finance whiz and had a decent chunk wrapped in his and my mom's retirement. One day he was laid off with little warning and he figured why the fuck would he look for a job when he was pushing 60. Edit to add, in the US. Because I always have them rattling around in my brain. Only 3% of foster kids will ever obtain a college degree at any point in their life. After reaching the age of 18, 20% of the children who were in foster care will become instantly homeless. That's roughly 4,000 kids a year. Only 50% of foster youth will have gainful employment by age 23. 7 out of 10 girls who age out of the foster care system will become pregnant before the age of 21. 40% of men in prison were once former foster kids. The numbers vary from state to state, but anywhere between 60 to 85% of sex trafficking victims were previously in the child welfare system. Edit 2, adding some links here because people keep asking. https://fi.org/tilde, text equals as %20 the %20 statistics %20 show %2 degrees Celsius %20 many, care %20 will %20 become %20 instantly %20 homeless. https://familyhomes.org/the-problem. https://wp.childtreds.org/wp-content/uploads/2017/09. https://www.childwelfare.gov/topics/system-wide/statistics/foster-care. My wife and I are in the final stages of becoming foster parents, hoping to adopt. These statistics are very sobering. They reinforce our decision, though. Former foster parent here. The training and books all talk about living with a traumatized child, but nothing prepares you for it. It's brutal. My husband and I had nightmares the whole first week from the stories he told us. Traumatized children can attempt to sabotage your marriage in a bid to see how stable their new environment is. Stay strong. You and your wife are welcome to DM anytime you need to. In our situation, we fostered a relative whose parents we weren't close to, but the kid went back to his dad after a year and they are doing very, very well. The 4 of us have become an unconventional family unit. It's worth the occasional agony of our situation. In 2020, overdose with a synthetic opioid, primarily fentanyl, became the leading cause of death in all Americans ages 18 to 45. Motor vehicle accidents were the former leading cause for this age group. Motor vehicles are the leading cause of death for 18 to 45-year-olds, we need to change that. No, not like that. World War II claimed the lives of 3% of the world's population in 1939. The Three Kingdoms War killed 20% and the Anlusha Rebellion might have killed 1/6 of all people on Earth. Ancient China was fucked. Down the wiki rabbit hole I go. See you all in a week. 86% of British citizens reside within 8 miles of their birthplace. Because that's about the distance to the next village or town, and who wants to live there? They all sound weird. Fgig Liverpool. Cheddar Man, discovered in a cave in Cheddar, was the ancestor of a school teacher in Cheddar, who lived a mile from the cave, 9,000 years later. He said, everyone has ancestors 9,000 years ago. I just happen to know where mine lived. Realistically speaking, since this guy has any living descendants, every single person in a very large area is a descendant. In the Cheddar Man case, out of a very small sample this guy was the only one to have the same mitochondrial DNA as Cheddar Man, meaning that some mother asterisk, great-grand etc. of Cheddar Man had a direct line of daughters down to both Cheddar Man's mom and this guy's mom. All of this man's kids are exactly as related to Cheddar Man as the rest of the population. They won't have the same exact mitochondrial DNA, but they are 100% going to be related to him. First cousin marriage / incest in England dropped drastically when the bicycle was introduced and poor lads could chase a bride from a bit farther away. Some say that the invention of the bicycle was the single most important invention for genetic diversity, as it allowed people to cheaply visit towns and cities further away and reduce inbreeding. All we know is, he's called the Stig. Perhaps we should introduce the bicycle to Alabama. A friend from Eastern Europe once joked that she used to go farther for bread and milk than Brits go for their partners.